Hey friends, welcome to another vlog. I shot one earlier before I messed my hair up by going running in the cold, but the video didn't come out right, so I am shooting another one because I am committed to creating a lot more content for you going forward. I want to talk about relationships today, but first, if you are in the United States and you have not voted, today is November 6th. It is voting day. I believe Uber, I'm not sure if any of the other ones are, but Uber is giving free rides to polling stations, so you have no excuse. It is your right to go, and I know that the system is a little, if not a lot, jacked up, but getting yourself down there is important right now, so make time to vote today. I voted yesterday. So relationships, what I want to talk about in this video is what it means to not feel seen and heard. And this is something that has been pretty common in my relationships, especially romantic relationships, for a majority of my life, is that feeling of I don't feel like you hear me or you see me. Anyone who can relate to that knows that it is a very difficult thing to describe to the people that you are experiencing that with, especially when they respond with something like, well, I'm looking right at you, or I'm listening to you, and they repeat the words to you. And I have finally figured out how to give words to what that experience feels like. Your actual definition or description of what this feels like might be different, so keep that in mind. But for me, what I really realized is that when I don't feel seen or heard, I feel that people are taking only the parts of me or the conversation that they are interested in or care about or are excited about or fit with their picture of who they want me to be or how I fit inside their vision for their life and our relationship, and only engaging with those parts rather than engaging with me as a whole and bringing curiosity to the parts that really make me who I am, all the different aspects of me. Being able to give words to this experience has been really, really helpful for me, and I've really been sitting with it because it's been frustrating to feel like people don't see and hear me, and I don't necessarily think that this is a bad thing. I'm not sure that it's a good thing either, but I don't think it's that simple. I think it's very normal for us to look for common ground. A lot of relationships are built that way, especially friendships or partnerships and romantic relationships, is we are looking for somebody that meets us in a specific way. If that's a friendship, we might be looking for common interests so that we have things that we can share in and do together. If it's a romantic partnership, it might be looking for somebody who fits inside our vision for what we want for our future and a partnership like that. And everywhere in between, even in professional relationships, does what you offer fit what I am needing at this moment. So there is a way that is normal, and I don't think that it's bad. What I've really realized is that I need to have more of a say. What I have been letting people do is decide for themselves, okay, as a whole, you seem pretty cool, but I only really want to engage with these specific parts of you because that's what works for me and that's what I want. And I have just been allowing for that and going along with it when really those aren't necessarily the parts of me that I want to be engaging with other people around. Especially when it comes to romantic relationships, there are a lot of aspects that make me who I am that guys love to engage with. They find it fun, they find it exciting, it fits with their idea of what a great relationship could be, they are attracted to it. And while all of those parts are me and they make up who I am, I haven't been feeling met in an intellectual and emotional sense. So really having people meet me on that level, like what makes me who I am from my perspective is my passion for the work that I'm doing in the world, the fact that I read and talk about things like trauma and PTSD and depression and anxiety and all the challenging things that we go through. I'm so passionate about that and about making a difference. And my work is not just work. My business is not a job. It is a big aspect of who I am and how I show up in the world and what's important to me. So what I have found to be really beneficial about being able to see and define when people aren't really seeing or hearing me is that they are choosing other aspects of what makes me me, of my personality, of my interests, and only engaging in those parts versus bringing curiosity to the other bigger aspects that really make me who I am. And again, I think there's a level of normalcy to this, and what is really apparent to me is that I get a say and I get to choose, whether that's friendship, whether that's romantic relationship, whether that is professional. I get to decide what parts of me are on the table and what parts aren't, what parts are important for me to feel met in, because every relationship, all the different kinds of relationships that we have, it's really hard to find one person to meet all aspects of who you are. But again, we get to decide in a romantic relationship, in a friendship, in a professional partnership, where do I need to be met? What's important to me? One of my favorite quotes comes from the actress Evangeline Lilly, and she says, "I'm not a highly social person, I'm a highly productive person." And I loved that because that's how I feel. On top of that, not only am I a highly productive and creative and purpose-driven person, but I have an avoidant attachment style. I'm also very independent. I'm very content on my own. I love to take adventures on my own. I love to move to the mountains alone. All of that is a big aspect of who I am and my personality. So I don't need companionship for the sake of companionship. I'm not somebody who seeks out relationships where, oh my gosh, we can do all these same things together and that will be really fun and exciting because now I don't have to do them alone. I'm actually very content doing a lot of the things I do alone. And it's not that I won't have people do those things with me. It's not that it's not enjoyable, but it's more important to me to be met intellectually and emotionally. I want to be able to have big, deep conversations about everything and nothing. I want to be able to talk about my work with the people I'm with. I want to be able to dive into conversations around trauma and grief and all the horrible things in the world because that's what lights me up. That's the big aspect that makes me who I am. So understanding that, now I can look at relationships and say, these are the parts that I am looking for overlap in. These are the parts that I want to be met inside of. I want people who can meet me in this way. And sure, if there's crossover, if we like the same things and want to see the same movies and go on the same adventures, awesome. But what I value most right now in my life is not companionship for the sake of companionship or people to do fun things with. It's people who can meet me intellectually and emotionally. I wanted to share all that because I know a lot of you that engage with me and read my emails and watch my videos feel very similar. You struggle with feeling heard and seen, and so my invitation to you is to kind of lean in and see what parts of you do you feel like people are choosing to engage with, and what parts do you feel like are getting neglected that maybe are more of who you know yourself to be, and how can you prioritize that when you're engaging in new relationships or making choices about who is and isn't in your life. What are the parts of you that most need and want to be met for you to feel fulfilled in a relationship, rather than letting other people decide that they only want to pick and choose parts that, while they are who you are, they don't make up the core of what makes you you. Like I said before, your definition may be different from mine, but my experience with not feeling seen and heard comes down to people choosing to engage with only certain parts and aspects of me, rather than engaging with me as a whole or bringing curiosity and presence and interest to the parts that really make me who I am. I would love to hear your thoughts on this. I would love to hear how this shows up for you and maybe how you are able to define this, as well as what's really important for you in relationship and what parts you are really going to prioritize so that you can start having more fulfilling relationships that are true to who you are. That's what I have for you today, and I will be back later this week with another vlog, and we'll chat more then.